Hi, Paul Nashwati coming to you live from the floor at KubeCon EU 2026. I'm here at the Portworx booth with Kellyanne. How you doing?
Hey, Paul, as always, wonderful to see you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great. It's great to see you. Always great to have you on. Portworx has a huge presence. Lots of people at the booth. Lots of traffic. 13,000 of our closest friends. What's going on at Portworx?
I'm telling you, Paul, I mean, you and I have talked about the Kubernetes space for a while now. You know, app modernization has always been a great use case of ours. People have been building new apps on Kubernetes, and they've always done well as the storage virtualization in that world, right?
Yeah.
But what has really taken off in the last, I would say, year or so, is this rise of what we call modern virtualization.
Yeah.
Where customers are looking at the situation at Broadcom and VMware, and they're looking for alternatives.
Sure.
Right? Some customers are choosing to go to Nutanix or any other options. But there are some customers who are looking at the tea leaves and saying, I would rather go to where the puck is headed.
Right.
And the puck is definitely headed to Kubernetes. So customers are moving, taking their VMs to KubeVirt and Kubernetes technologies, and they still need a data management solution for many of these workloads. That's where we come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm most impressed with is in my practice in the app dev space, and you're right, monetization is a treadmill. It kind of is going to continue to happen. But in my practice, it's about past, present, and future. And what Portworx has always done is have the ability to bridge the past, present, and future together.
Absolutely.
And that's where I think there's the power in the solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And the present, I will tell you, if you walk around this KubeCon here, it's modern virtualization, without a doubt.
Right.
Yeah. VMware is a 20-year-old company. They've been in some sense, a data center operating system. And when a company like VMware makes some of these major changes, right, in their licensing model, in their subscription model, in their support model, in their partnership model, it changes everything, right? So that has been a big dynamic that you will see as the present trend in this KubeCon for sure. Now the future definitely is AI, right? That's where everything is headed.
Right.
And as you know, data is the substrate for AI. Data is the oil in the AI industry, and we definitely play a very strong, data management. What we do definitely has a strong role in the AI transformation.
Yeah, well, so I agree with you. I think data is absolutely the fundamental, like you said, the oil of the industry. But I also believe that when you look at the focus of what we see here, being in Europe, right, there's a number of things, especially at this event that we're seeing is governance, compliance, regulations, and data sovereignty. Those are things. So data is the lifeline. Data sovereignty in this region is very critical. So how's Portworx helping with that?
Yeah, look, we understand that data management is important, but security cannot be dissociated from data.
Yeah.
So, and security has always been a core part of the Portworx story. We continue to, encrypt data. We make sure that our data is secure. We, in fact, are releasing a new capability at this KubeCon of Secure Boot, which is essentially a way to, ensure that our software can be securely landed on any Kubernetes distribution out there, whether it's Red Hat, SUSE, you name it, right? So we understand that our customers care about security, and we're definitely building a lot of capabilities to make sure that the data management that we provide is as secure as it can be. Now, the one other thing I would also say is that, you mentioned this also, there is a big trend towards sovereign cloud, right?
Yes.
And one aspect of the sovereign cloud data management is the ability to move data to wherever you want the data to be.
Right.
Right. A perfect example could be somebody could be running the training, let's say, in a public cloud, AI training in a public cloud, and then they may want to run their inferencing within the four walls of their enterprise, right?
Yeah.
So how do you move this data across? That's again one of those capabilities that's very core and foundational to what Portworx offers, which again makes us, a pretty core part of the AI story and the data story itself.
Yeah, I like that. I like the way you tied that together because the application is only as good as the data that's underneath it. So it's really important for that all to have that interconnected. It's a connective tissue that makes it all work. So I do want to touch on this. You mentioned partnerships. You mentioned Red Hat, but you also mentioned SUSE.
Yeah.
Right? SUSE had a recent announcement that came out. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, look, Portworx has always been a Switzerland in the data management. And we realize that customers work with many Kubernetes distribution vendors. Customers work with many storage providers on the back, right? So, and then customers also want to run their workloads in whichever environment they want to run, right? It can be in on-prem, it can be in the cloud, it can be on the edge, it can be anywhere else, right? So Portworx has always had this ethos that we want to stay neutral in this space. So we work with Red Hat, we work with SUSE, we work with Spectro, we work with Kubernetes, you name it, on the Kubernetes distribution front. We work with any storage vendor on the back end. Now, we're obviously owned by Pure Storage, now rebranded as Everpure.
I was going to correct you.
Yes, there you go. I remembered the new brand. So we obviously work well with Everpure. It's our mothership. We have strong integration there. But we also work with NetApp. We work with Dell.
Sure.
We work across all the cloud providers, right? AWS, Azure, GCP. You can use us anywhere. And that's always been the strength of Portworx. We continue to work with all these vendors. We have offered recently support for SUSE virtualization.
Yep.
Used to be Rancher, I guess,
Rancher, yeah.
in the past, and
Rancher
now
Prime.
it's rebranded as SUSE virtualization. So now we have full support for SUSE virtualization, and all the capabilities of automation, protection, and unification that we have provided some of the other vendors. We now offer it with the SUSE ecosystem.
Very cool, very cool. All right, so before we end, what's the top 3 things you want the audience to know?
Yeah, look, first and foremost, this notion that Kubernetes is mostly for stateless workload, let's just throw it out of the window. If you're building mission critical applications, you have state, you have data, and you have to manage that data, right? So that's the most important thing I would tell you. The second thing I'll tell you is it's time that customers started to think about one operational solution for all their workloads, right? Whether it be a VM workload, whether it be a container workload, or whether it be an edge workload. So that unification is what customers should aspire to do, because frankly, managing 3 or 4 silos is very hard.
Yes.
Right. The last thing, and you and I have been talking about this for a while now. The data is the substrate for everything. Right?
Yeah.
Don't make your data management decision as a day 2 decision. This needs to be a day 0 decision.
Yeah.
As you think about your application, it's not just about picking your Kubernetes distribution vendor first, and then coming to many of the other capabilities around data after that. Data needs to be a day 0 decision. Data needs to be a day 0 choice that every enterprise needs to make.
I love that. That's great. I think it's important to have it up front. Kellyanne, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You always provide insights and really incredible insights of what's going on in the market. Thank you very much for being here.
As always. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Very
absolutely.
much so.
And thank you. So Paul Nashwati coming to you live from the show floor at KubeCon EU 2026.